Working. Hey y'all. Hi everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pre-Pampered Princess podcast. Today I'm going to talk about tall women. If you're not a tall woman but you'd like to know more, feel free to listen up. But for my tall women, and I'm talking 5'10" and above, I'm so sorry. If you are below 5'10", I think that's about 178 centimeters or something like that. I'm so sorry. I'm not addressing you. Bean soup. Bean soup. But this is for my women who are 5'10" and above. My credentials are that I am indeed a tall woman. I spoke about it previously, and I think on a most recent episode, in which I mentioned I'm a tall woman who was born to occupy and to take up space. And my height is 184 centimeters. That's a lie. I actually shrank. I'm 183 centimeters, 6 foot on the dot. I am 6 foot flat. And my credentials are, I didn't take a picture, but I actually got measured IRL at the doctor last week because I've been telling people that I'm 185 because people look at me and just assume that I'm taller than what I am or I'm lying, which is kind of weird in its own right. But I say 185 and I found out that I'm 183. Makes me feel somehow because I like being tall. But I digress. I saw a video on TikTok by a black creator, which has now been deleted, which is unfortunate, claiming that life is really hard when you're tall, black, neurodivergent, and really pretty. I completely agree with everything that she says. I identify as tall, black, and beautiful. The neurodivergent part, I refuse to get tested. So let's say I'm 3 out of 4. And life is actually much more difficult when you are tall, right? Because I like being tall. I love being tall. And every time I tell people that I love my height and I like being tall, they're surprised. Why are you surprised? I feel like it's frowned upon to enjoy your height as a tall woman. So I'm going to break it down for you in like 2 different separate. Women embracing their height affects like 2 main demographics. And I will say men who are insecure about their height, because I've dated a spectrum of men. I have not. Okay, it's getting dark outside, so the lighting is going to crap. So I do apologize, but I can't control the weather. But basically, I've dated a few men, not a lot. I don't really date. But anyways, I've dated men who have actually dated me because of my height, right? So I date tall men, and tall men like tall women a lot of the time. If they don't, that's on them. I don't really care. But what I do find is that men who are shorter than me cling to the fact that they got measured 17 years ago or at one point in their life and their doctor told them that they were about 6 foot. And they cling to that. So when I come in and I tell them that, hey, I'm about 6 foot, 6'1", whatever, they get really insecure and you can see them calculating in their head, like, this can't be true. Like, this can't be. If she's 6 foot, that means I'm 5'10". And I think the second group being a tall woman affects is short women who have been conditioned by patriarchy, right? And I want to emphasize conditioned by patriarchy because I know a lot of them, it's not their fault, but they're just a victims, unfortunately, a situation in which I've been in multiple times, is when you tell a short woman that you are tall or they notice that you're tall, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so tall, you're huge, you're massive, you're gigantic, you're ginormous. I'm just a delicate, petite little flower who's blah, blah, blah. And it really rubs a lot of them the wrong way because I think it's a combination of intimidation and also them assuming that there is something wrong with you. So basically where I come from, or how I'm coming to the patriarchal standpoint of it, is that a woman, historically, we can say borderline. A woman is supposed to be small, petite, quiet, childlike, fragile, etc., etc. And a tall woman completely shatters that illusion. So for a lot of people, men and women, they find it really difficult to comprehend. So for a petite woman, not all petite women, for a petite woman, they think that, oh my goodness, look at her, she is the complete outlier of what she's supposed to be. Therefore, I am better than her because I am shorter and petite. Have I experienced this firsthand? Absolutely, yes, I have. Does it affect me? No. Did it affect me when I was younger? Absolutely. Because what I got a lot growing up, especially from like the aunties, because I'm Nigerian, is that it's going to be hard for you to find a boyfriend. It's going to be hard for you to find a husband. It's going to be hard for you to do anything. But the joke's on them. It's hard for me to find a husband because I am a bitch. Those are the 2 point of views that I want you to look at it from. Insecure men and insecure women, because at the end of the day, it's all insecurity. When a tall woman is proud of who she is, proud about her height, proud of what she does, she is immediately a threat. We can take case point example, Megan Thee Stallion. That woman is built like she's built like an anime character. She is the perfect She is the perfect woman because obviously perfection is what you deem it to be. She is the perfect woman, but she gets so much hate because she's a tall woman who embraces the fact that she's tall, and they do not like that. Hashtag they're watching. They do not like that, which is very interesting for me to see. She was like one of the first Black women who has been rewarded for being a tall, Black, voluptuous woman. And I will say voluptuous woman because when you are a tall Black woman and you are thin, it's completely different. If you are a tall Black woman and you are skinny, it is something else. It's the 180 actually. Then it's you should model and you should be in high fashion magazines. Now, if you are a dark skinned, skinny, tall Black woman, you hit the jackpot. Depending on what you think the jackpot is, unfortunately, you will be exploited, but you may or may not get that bag. They will make you shave your head though. So up to you what to do with that. But if you exist in any other form that is what society deems as an acceptable person, you're screwed. Me, I exist in a form that is not actually. People, the world is racist. They don't like Black people. They don't like tall women. I'm a tall Black people. Like, and to go back to the point, she says, when you're tall, attractive, Black, and neurodivergent. Tall, Black, attractive, neurodivergent. All three things that I think that I am. Yeah, I'm gonna pop my shit. Pop my butt, pop my butt. And I'm here to tell you that as a Black person or as a tall woman, I need you to take up space. I am urging you to take up space. When I was younger, I was very insecure of my height. I was 6 foot for a long time. One summer, I grew about 8 centimeters in one summer. That's a lot, you know? And I was so insecure. And I remember my auntie telling me when I was about 19 that she's really happy that I've started to straighten up or stand up straight. Because apparently I used to walk around with my back curved or hunched over because I didn't want attention to be on me. And I was so insecure because all my friends were short and I wanted to be short and etc. I'm a tall Black woman. There's nothing I can do about that. So embrace it. Love yourself. Now, I want to add something else. If you are a tall Black woman, you're also perceived as a bitch, right? As a Black woman, you're always perceived as a bitch. When you're tall Black, you're perceived as an uppity bitch. And I have a lot of experience dealing with things like that because it's almost as if people are waiting to catch me out. I think it's very strange. God forbid a woman loves herself. I think a lot of people behave like tall women don't exist. We do. We're literally everywhere. I just want to say, don't put your worth as a tall woman in what you think other people want you to be, especially men, okay? So crazy to me that every time I tell people that I like being tall, that they are confused. What was the difference? What is the difference? What is, like, tell me right now, somebody tell me the difference. Gun to your head, what's the difference between tall and short except for height? Nothing. You're just delusioned. You just delusioned yourself to a point in which you think being short or being average or being petite or whatever height you think carries more currency than the latter. It's not real. Everything is made up. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, be beautiful, be gorgeous, go outside. And I did mention earlier that if you're tall, skinny, and Black, that's something completely different. It is. You're gonna get skinny shamed, especially if you're African. You're gonna get skinny shamed to the power of F. You're gonna have a terrible childhood. I'm so sorry because I was a big bitch growing up, as you can tell. I was a chubby kid, but I was chubby and I was tall. Now, I wasn't actually fat. I was chubby because I was going through puberty and I was tall. So everyone was like, look at that whale. Whereas I have had or know people in the opposite ends of the spectrum in which they're tall but very skinny and everyone's like, you need to eat, you skin and bones, you blah blah blah. So either way, like, you listening to this, I want you to know, in general, as a woman, there is no winning. If you're tall, no winning. If you're short, no winning. If you got big boobs, no winning. If you got small boobs, no winning. If you have fat, no winning. If you're skinny, no winning. Like, there is no winning. There is no winning. There is no winning. This video comes across anyone who is younger and thinks being tall is a curse. It is one of the biggest blessings I've ever received in this life. Obviously, God gave me life, so that's the biggest blessing first and foremost, yeah? But being tall, being a tall woman, or for me personally, I can't speak for everyone else, but being tall has almost emphasized how much, anyway, to me, this is my perception, this is what I think. I think that being tall was God's way of emphasizing how much I am meant to stand out. That's how I take it. I think when you're, especially if you're Nigerian or African, specifically Nigerian, often prayers are made over your life in which they say, I know you are destined to do more. I think the added height was a confirmation that, hey girl, you are meant to stand out and you have to embrace that. And I do embrace it every day. And I wear my heels. See, I have one right here. Let me show you. Give me 2 seconds. I wear my heels. I'm actually going out. And this is what I'm wearing. I wear my heels. I don't give a heck. Why should I? I've had a lot of people come up to me or tell me like, oh, I love the fact that you're tall and you still wear heels. And I'm just kind of like, why wouldn't I? Right? For a majority of women, right? I'm not going to say every single woman, but for a majority of women, they wear heels because they make the outfit look good. It makes them feel confident. It makes them feel like that girl. If it didn't make them feel like that girl, they wouldn't wear the heels. So why wouldn't I wear heels if I don't want to be that girl too? And I know this conversation is very all over the shop, but that's because my freaking camera and my storage, and I just kept getting lost in my train of thought. So I do apologize. Being tall and being a tall woman is much more nuanced than I'm making it sound. I love what God has blessed me with. I love being able to see over crowds. What I hate though is leg room in everything, is ass, double booty cheek. I don't really enjoy not having websites, being jeans and skirts and dresses that are kind of awkward length. But if you guys ever want to see a try on haul, because I do have a lot of jeans and a lot of tall women come up to me and be like, where do you get your jeans? I will do that haul for you if you're interested. If y'all want to give me if that's something you want to see, I don't mind as well. I hope this conversation is kind of productive, or I hope this conversation benefited someone, anyone, because I just think there's so much stigma, for lack of better words, around being tall, which is crazy to me because I haven't seen a problem yet. So yeah, no obstacle. Previously, I did say that people said to me like, how are you gonna find a husband? How are you gonna find a boyfriend? Blah, blah, blah. It's actually fairly easy. Tall men want me, short men want me, mediocre men want me, and that's the problem. Everybody want me. I did say earlier in the video that I consider tall women to be 5'10" and above, and I stand on that. You hear that? Wholeheartedly with my chest. I don't care if you're 5'7.5. I don't care if you're 5'6". I only care if you're 5'7.5" if you are from a East Asian country such as Japan or China, in which the height for the average woman is significantly shorter. Then I empathize with you. If not, I don't care. But anyways, yeah, that's all I really had to say, and I apologize once again for the disorganization in this video, because it's, if you know the amount of frustration and how much time has passed for me trying to delete and undelete and blah, 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 you would say thank you right now. You would. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this conversation. Have a good day. Signing out, your princess.